Black Ops 7 marks the first time in the history of Call of Duty that we had a zombies beta, and as such allowed us to play around with some of the new systems, changes, and one of the new survival maps that will be present in the full game. There was also some baffling missteps present in the beta that I believe heavily impacted the gameplay that will be fixed on launch, but we have to discuss how they impacted the beta. This review will be broken down into the positives, the neutrals, and the negatives, with a breakdown of each. We are of course aiming to hit 750 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, leave a like and subscribe to help me out. Leave a comment to let me know how you're feeling about Black Ops 7 Zombies, and let's just get straight into the positives. Starting off, I want to hit straight at a core negative of Black Ops 6 and a massive improvement point here in Black Ops 7, and that is the aesthetics. The farm map has aura, just to keep it blunt. It does. It looks cool. The Dark Aether looks cool. Yeah, I know some people are done with the purple aesthetic, but I like the purple aesthetic. I like purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors, and I think the Dark Aether is a really cool, unexplored area in the Dark Aether story. So I'm glad to see them go down this direction. Now, of course, the Dark Aether aesthetic is the most interesting setting that we've had, and the art design here is also really, really good. It's probably close to Vanguard. I don't know. The one good thing about Vanguard is its art direction, so we'll have to see how it goes, but Vanguard had a really nice art direction. This is kind of going in that direction, which is nice. The basement area of this map sticks out in particular as it's this underground, like, tomb kind of area that has, like, this evil box and fucking creepy music and creepy sounds and stuff, and it looks cool. You go through the farm and it, like, you go under and you come out near the house. It's a cool little area, and the more areas that we have like that in the main game, I think the better. Like the family table near, kind of giving Resident Evil vibes as well. That kind of stuff really does help impact the aesthetics of the map. And of course, the sky box is a massive improvement of the Tomb PNG. I already love the Tomb. The Tomb's one of my favorite maps. I am a Tomb defender till the end, but the skybox can look a little bit rough depending on your graphic settings and stuff like that. Like, it's a beautiful area if you're running Ultra, but if you're not running Ultra, you can clearly tell it's a 2D image. In this, it looks a lot better. The skybox itself looks a lot better. Now, here's a massive improvement, and one of my biggest issues with Black Ops 6, right, was how the melee was never worth more than a headshot, and that just should never be the case, because with melee, you are getting yourself up close and personal. I know it deals a lot of damage, but you're getting yourself up close and personal with the zombies, the super sprinters, the hitters that can hit you like 7 times in 10 milliseconds, right? And there was entire maps of wonder weapons based around melee hits, and the melee hits did nothing. It got you, what, 105 points, I think? 105 points for melee is disgusting. And this is fixed here. You can now get critical hits with melee, which do, I think, the same amount of damage as far as I can tell, but they grant you 150 points, which is massive. And it now means them first initial couple of rounds, you can gain more points and you can get further into the map if you hit your critical headshots with your melee weapon. Now, I just hope that means they don't add criticals to the melee weapon camo challenges. You know, that would be shocking. But that's kind of what I'm looking at the minute, is we got an improvement to the melee weapon. Just a quick small note I want to mention, the Pack-a-Punch camos 2 and 3, they both look phenomenal. The blue and the green, they are beautiful camos, and I think they are a massive step up in terms of camos compared to like something like Liberty Falls, which was the launch map of Black Ops 6. And also compared to Terminus. Now, the DLC camos in that game all look fantastic in my opinion, especially Shattered Veil, the Tomb, and the Reckoning. I think they look fantastic, and I think this is kind of in line with them, if not maybe a little bit worse. But overall, I think it's an improvement on the launch map camos that we got last year. For the first time, we have a new power up as well, the free perk power up. I know it's been in the game before, but it's now joined the actual power up rotation, and it actually is very useful. It's also the first power up I got when I first played the game. I was around 2, and I got a free perk, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I picked it up, and I got, I think it was Jug as well. So massive. I just think this is a fun little addition. Also, the changes they've made to perks as a whole, where the free perks that you can get from the world, so from free perk Easter eggs and from free perk power ups, no longer increase the cost in the perk machines to buy. That's a massive improvement. That is a major improvement, and I really, really like that. Also, the overall improvement to the Wonder Fizz is better. If you beeline your perks, you can now get the Wonder Fizz way earlier, which is a massive improvement overall, because waiting for 25 to get something like Deadshot on some maps was a nuisance. Wisp Tea is, of course, the new perk. Without playing around with the augments, I had fun with the perk, especially during insta-kill. That yoke destroys enemies on insta-kill. It just kills them like that instantly. So it's a very fun perk to play around with on insta-kill. And during the main game, yeah, it was useful. It slowed down zombies. It was an interesting perk, but I really need to see them augments. I'm super excited to see where it goes. This is a great perk for camping playstyles. I was camping, and match this with toxic growth and an insta kill, and you'll fly through the round in about 10 seconds. And literally, it'll go like that, because they'll just keep running into your toxic growth, and your wisp will go out and hunt them down. It's a brilliant combination, and it was a lot of fun in the beta. Next up, I just want to talk quickly about Toxic Growth and Fireworks. Fireworks has been returned since Black Ops 3 for the first time, and it is a very fun field upgrade. I think it's probably one of the most involved field upgrades since maybe... No, it's probably the most unique field upgrade we've gotten in a while, since maybe Lightmend. And basically, it shoots up this firework that then launches fireworks out at people. Now, of course, we didn't get to experiment with the augments, which I really want to do, because this will be the first time we'll have an augment-like system with fireworks, so we can improve that base functionality. But the base version of it is actually still pretty enjoyable. It's fun to use. And then with Toxic Growth, we have Toxic Growth returning from Cold War. I didn't use it in Cold War, so, you know, to me, this is basically new. I've literally not. Now, I know I've played Cold War, but I've never used Toxic Growth before. And really, it is a very powerful tool for any form of camping strat, especially with how long it lasts. You can put it down, and it could last, like I had it last 2 to 3 rounds at one stage, and it just killed anything that walked past it. Insta kill, it killed everything, and on normal speeds, it literally just let me get a second to reload and all that when them super sprinters spawned in. It's a super useful field upgrade, and I could see it becoming one of the metas for camping strategies. Like, I could just imagine how good this would be on the Shattered Veil elevator strat, for example. You just block off the elevator and you're sorted. Now, finally, I want to talk about the new enemies. After the year of Black Ops 6 reusing the same enemies over and over, repurposing Black Ops Cold War's enemies and reworking Black Ops 3's enemies, it really was starting to get very tiring. Black Ops 7 kicks it off with a brand new special and a brand new elite enemy, which is the Ravagers, which run around. They're little nuisances. They're kind of max ammo round, and they have their own kind of mechanics to them where they can eat your loot on the ground, which is an interesting choice. So salvage, grenades, even anything that can be found on the ground, like Aether Tails, pack crystals, perk bottles, all them that can be found on the ground, they can eat them, and that makes them get big, and they glow purple, and then they can teleport away. They're an interesting enemy. On a max ammo round, they can actually swarm you pretty quickly, and there can be a lot of them, so it can be quite an intense round, honestly. And they're actually an interesting enemy type. I'm excited to see where they go with them, and I hope they keep this theme going of a brand new special and elite enemy per map. Now, of course, we have the Xerxes, which is a powerhouse of a boss, especially without access to a wonder weapon like the ray gun or the ray gun Mark II. It can take quite a bit to take one of these things down. They have a ranged bee attack where they can launch out bees. They have this lockdown attack where if you knock off one of the hives, the hive will now do a area of effect damage attack that will stop anyone from basically getting hit inside that damage field. And then, of course, there's the slash, the basic slash, which does massive amounts of damage and then also bleeds you over time, which is a super interesting. He's a tanky boss. He's a really, really cool boss. It's a fucking zombie bear. Like, this is like when they had a zombie T-Rex. Like, what else could you want? It's a fucking zombie bear. All right, moving on into the neutrals. The first thing I want to talk about is weapon balancing. The weapon balance in this beta just was not very good. I know a lot of long-term zombies fans prefer classic zombies, which is fine, and a lot of classic zombies had you just using the wonder weapon and a trap, which this was very reminiscent of. You were just using wonder weapons and a trap, but I have kind of grown accustomed to, and the thing that brought me back to zombies during Cold War was the fact that your weapons could be used to kill the zombies. Not infinitely, not even as effectively as the wonder weapon. The wonder weapon was still super effective, but your weapons were usable. And in this game, that's just not the case. I think towards the round 50 mark, it was taking me maybe 8 bullets to get a kill. So that meant like maybe 3 kills a mag, maybe 6, which just is really not on in this day and age. I think weapons maxed out start losing damage capabilities at around round 30, 35. And I just don't enjoy that. Like, we've had this quality of life feature where we can use our guns, and now they want to remove it for no reason. Like, let us use the guns. That's the whole point, is to use the guns to kill the zombies. I don't want to sit around. This is why I never high-rounded before Black Ops Cold War, because it's just boring. You're just sitting around doing a try. Like, it's not for me. And when they added the ability to use your guns, I done it a bit more because I was using my gun. And I think this could be fixed for launch with augments and stuff like that. But honestly, as it is at the minute, I'm not a fan. I want my guns to be usable till at least round 50. Like at round 50, when the super sprinters and all that starts spawning in, yeah, you can move to a wonder weapon based strategy or something like that. But I want to use my guns. That's the whole point of the game, is to use my guns. So yeah, that's a massive hit or miss. If this is not fixed for the beta, this moves straight down to negative. If it is fixed for the beta, it can remain in neutral. But I feel very strongly about this, so maybe neutral wasn't a good place for me to put it. Secondly, I think I want to talk about the augments. The game is clearly balanced around augments, so it would have been nice to even have our current Black Ops 6 augments available in the beta, because the game is very clearly balanced around you having augments, because there's so many things that would be improved in the basic gameplay by you having them augments. Now, it would have been even better if they let us try the cursed, and that didn't have augments. That would have been fine, because that obviously has its own unique balancing, I'm assuming. But we didn't, and the base game is clearly balanced around augments, and we didn't even get to try the cool new abilities. Like, Fireworks sounds like it has some cool abilities, and Toxic Growth also sounds like it has some cool new abilities. The auto-plating combination that you could do with Vulture's Aid sounds fantastic. Like, but we didn't get to use any of that. We didn't get to try it out. And I understand, like, you know, it's the beta. You're not meant to use everything because you could blah, 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 blah. You'd run out of content and all that. I get that. But at the same time, they're meant to be advertising the game. They're meant to be trying to get us in to play the game. And the experience I had where you were just underpowered from round 30 onwards was a bit mixed. And I feel like giving us the augments could have helped that. The armor and salvage changes are another neutral. So loadouts are a lot less viable. So this makes camo grinding a bit more of a pain in the ass, because the salvage gain has been massively reduced. Like, you'll be lucky to get your loadout weapon, enough salvage to get your loadout weapon upgraded by maybe round 25. Like, it is rough out there. It is really rough. And if you want a second gun that you bought that was green tier or something like that, don't bother. Like, there's no point in pack-a-punching until you have at least a purple tier gun from the box or from the wall, because you're just like, this actually goes on to a broader negative I have, and that is rarities as a whole, which I don't think they should exist, and if they do exist, they should be tied directly to your pack-a-punch level. The rarities just, it's the one modern zombies mechanic I can never wrap my head around it. It doesn't make sense. It's, that is a Warzone mechanic. I don't like using Warzone mechanic as a an insult or as a term to explain new zombies mechanics, but that is a Warzone mechanic, and it is not a very good Warzone mechanic. We don't need rarities in zombies. It makes no sense because the guns aren't fucking rare. You get around 30 and it's just full of legendary ones anyway. So it's not a rarity. Like, it's not, it's just another type of damage that they could apply specifically to the Pack-a-Punch. It should just be in the Pack-a-Punch. Armor is now upgraded through a singular wall buy, or like the wall buy will upgrade based depending on your tier of armor. It starts at blue and upgrades to purple when you have blue. Box and wall weapons are much more important in this mode because, again, the salvage changes. So that means that you can buy your gun off the wall or buy a box gun and it will be upgraded more, which makes a massive difference. And it can massively actually increase your damage output in them early rounds. And it puts more reliance on the box. It just means for camo grinding, it might be a bit more annoying. The new exfil mechanic is an improvement on the Black Ops 6 one, but it's not something I feel super strongly about, so it's here in neutral, but I wanted to talk about it. The ability to only fight one HVT is a massive improvement. The HVT isn't even all that difficult, and the visual effects on the exfil, like the successful exfil loading screen, looks so much better than just the helicopter. And yeah, okay, let's talk negatives now. We've got the enemy reuse. I know I was talking about the fantastic new enemies that we had earlier, and I stand by that, but the negatives here are the Doppelgast's return. This does not belong here. I like the Doppelgast. The Doppelgast is a cool enemy. It's a really cool design. It's fun. It's not super strong. It has unique abilities, but it just doesn't belong here. It's been in every single map since it was introduced in Citadel. Someone really likes the Doppelgast in Treyarch. It just doesn't belong here. Like, I get it. It's a Dark Aether creature. It comes from the Dark Aether. It's probably going to be in the Dark Aether. But they could have given us something new. Like, or not even. They could have just left that as the Xerxa and the Ravagers. And if they were worried about people saying, oh, well, there's no specials to kill, blah, 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 for camo challenges, make the Ravagers special. They appear on normal rounds. Just make a slightly stronger Ravager that appears on a normal round and make that a special. That is better than bringing the Doppelgast back. And that goes for the Manglers and the Disciples and the Shock Mimics and any of them other specials. They don't need to come back. They shouldn't come back. Don't bring them back. The Amalgam as well. No amalgams. I don't like amalgams at all. And finally, I'd like to say there is a lot of confusion around the curse mode, and I feel like the curse mode should have been made available even on the last day of the beta for the survival map, just so we could play around it with the base mechanics. No relics included in the curse mode, but the base mechanics of the curse mode itself. Them OG features like the point system, the no loadouts, and the lack of rarities, I believe, is another one that people are speculating. But that's the thing. There's so much confusion around it. There's so much speculation, and we still don't even know ourselves what is going to be in this mode. So Treyarch needs to stop being so secretive about this mode. They need to tell us how we unlock it. They need to tell us what it entails. And it would have been nice for them to let us play it. And if they're going to do something like this again in the future, this mode should be playable for at least a day. It doesn't have to be playable for all of it if they don't want it to be, but at least a day would have been nice. There's so much confusion here that needs to be cleared up, and it should be a top priority for Treyarch. Overall, I am very excited to experience the full game's release in a little over a month. We will be hitting up all the augments, camo grinds, additions to the history of series, and most importantly, Easter egg runs. The Zombies beta was a step in the right direction with a lot of positives, but as with everything in Zombies, a little bit of mismanagement causing it to not flow exactly how I would have liked. Hopefully the next Zombies beta, they can take on some of the feedback the community has given to them to make it a real slam dunk. Okay, so that was the beta initial thoughts. I'm going to go back to write my next History of script, which should be out on Monday, but don't hold me to that. You know how I am with dates and times and commitments and blah, blah, blah. If you enjoyed, leave a like and a subscribe. Again, we're going for 750. And let me know what you think of Black Ops 7 again in the comments below. And I will see you in the next one, which will be the History of Perks.